Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SEN Live, Schmoeville Entertainment Network. I'm Christian Harloff, and today is a very, very different show, as you all know, as you're all here. Brett's joining me.
Oh, look at that.
On the show here today, and yeah, that's a little close and blurry, but whatever.
Anyway, thanks for joining us today. I know that, look, there's no other way to say it. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in general. It's a real, it's a bummer all the way around. We're going to talk about all of it. And I wanted to let everybody know, first of all, what we're doing here on on Monday, I believe it was. We decided we're going to take Tuesday off with everyone else. We said we'd come back on Wednesday, and we wanted to make sure that when we came back today that we were going to donate any Streamlabs or Super Chats or anything that comes in. We're going to donate it to charity, and it's all going to Color of Change. It's a charity that Skybound Entertainment has been supportive of and has been working with. And we are going to put anything that's made today through Streamlabs and Super Chat, streamlabs.com/theschmoeville. It all goes to Color of Change today. Now, a few things to know going in here today. Now, we're going to, like I said, we're going to be taking. I said in the description that we want to have a conversation with you guys. We understand. I think that this is what this community has always been built on: is having a conversation, hearing one another out. We're going to look at everything that comes in. There's stuff that, if it doesn't really pertain to what we're talking about here, and it's hate-filled, or it is, not, I don't know, it's just not respectful in the fact of what we're trying to accomplish as far as conversation goes, your donation will definitely go to the charity. There's no doubt about it, but we're going to try to get to as many conversations as we can, and we also...
I think it's coming, I don't know if the mic is on. It's coming by mic here.
Mayans Law?
Yeah.
How about now? Let's see. Hold on. Check. How about now? Is it better now? Checking over here. Checking.
Still up. It's 10.
All right. Let's see. Hold on a bit. Let's try to figure this out. Give me 1 second.
All right, I'm hoping this works. Hoping that worked. Let's see. Let me know if it worked. Sorry about that, guys. A little tech difficulty up top here. Hopefully that worked.
Let's see. He says we're good now.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Anyway, taking us back to where we were. So if you didn't hear me before, we want to have a conversation. I put it inside of the description here on the video that we are going to be donating everything over to Color of Change. It is a charity that Skybound Entertainment has worked with many times, and we will be donating all Streamlabs and Super Chats to Color of Change today. So you can go ahead and if you put those in there, streamlabs.com/theschmoeville.
I also had said, if you didn't hear me before, we're going to try. We want to have like a full-on conversation with everybody and give enough time to a lot of things that are coming in. So again, there are things that we will definitely address, and there's conversations that we're definitely going to have, but anything filled with kind of hate or agenda or any of those things along those lines, we're just, the money will go to the charity, and there's no doubt about that, but I just don't, we want to try to base this off of what we're doing.
It's on the double shot.
It's the double shot?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here it is. Got it.
I got you. All right. Thank you. So anyway, we just want to make sure that we are able to have the conversation. Before that all goes down, obviously, I wanted to address right up top, because what we were going to do last week was we were going to make sure, because everybody's angry right now. It's a crazy time, and we wanted to make sure that we had a conversation with all of you and talk to all of you. And we were going to do that today regardless, before everything kind of went down. This was going to be the only show that we were going to do this week. We're not doing our Star Wars match today. We're going to postpone that. Backstage will be happening today, and it's going to have on Jay Washington, Winston Marshall, Chance Ellison, RB3, and Roca and Ben Bateman will be on. But they'll be similar to what we're doing here on this show, more so than anything else. We're going to take a break for the rest of the week. Speaking of Schmoedown and everything that kind of went down last night, I hear all of you. I understand it, and I know that there's no matter what I say today or whatever it is, you guys have your opinions and your thoughts, and that's fair. But, I wanted to address it right off the bat before we started talking about it. And I had thought about this a lot last night. It was up for a while. And again, I was listening and I heard everything that you guys were saying, and I wanted to address it, and I wanted to make sure that I addressed it today right off the bat. And the bottom line is I'm not happy with this whole situation. Last night we let R&B go as a manager of the Movie Trivia Schmoedown after he had made some inappropriate comments on Twitter. After many phone calls from crew, competitors, managers, we came to the decision that it wasn't the best idea for Robert Meyer Burnett to continue on. I called Robert Meyer Burnett. I spoke with him before we released this statement, and I let him know, and we talked. We talked for a while. He explained where he was coming from and what he was trying to get across. The bottom line is that he was angered by yet another senseless killing of a black man in our streets, an ex-police officer, to which I also found appalling. However, he angrily tweeted, and his point was made poorly, to which he acknowledged. Whether he intended to or not, the tweet came off as inciting violence, and it concerned many of you, many of the Schmoedown company as a whole. We are living in a time right now, it's scary, it's dangerous, and most of us are on edge. To most of us, our words are our best weapons. We use them to get our point across, to find others who share our points of view so we can help make a change. The words that R&B chose to use at that time came from a place of extreme anger, and it conveyed a message that we were all extremely uncomfortable with. I've seen the freedom of speech has been brought up during all of this. We didn't have R&B arrested. We have company standards that we had to abide by when various crew members and competitors, they said they felt uneasy about the comments, and they expressed concern on working with Robert Meyer Burnett. And when I spoke to Robert Meyer Burnett about this exact thing, he understood. We talked about the statement before we released it and afterwards. I've talked to him 3 times, and I read him what I was prepared to say this morning, to which he agreed with. This is not the case of hearing voices screaming out and just acting rash. It was a conversation we had to have with all parties to make sure that we were all on the same page. And I understand that a lot of you weren't happy with the decision. I'm not happy with the situation at all. This time in American history is one of our darkest. It's brought out anger in us. It's brought out sadness and confusion. This is a time that I wish we could put behind us today. But the fight is now, and it's important, now more so than ever, to support each other and to listen. None of it is easy for all of us, for the country and for everybody here at Schmoedown. We're trying our best, and I truly appreciate all the feedback and the support that we've received from you. And I also admire the passion coming from the other side, people who are talking and letting you know your disappointment. Please, in this trying times, let's try to be kind to each other, because this community is all we have. But that's what I wanted to address. I wanted to address that to you guys off the bat. I know it's going to be brought up today. I understand that it's going to be brought up today. And we need to talk about it. It has to be talked about. I get it. I understand it all the way through. Like I said, I talked to Robert Meyer Burnett this morning. And I talked to him last night. I talked to him 3 times over the course of it, and we talked about this, and he understood. And it's just, I hate this situation. I hate it. And it's not easy. It's not easy because there's nothing you're going to do that's gonna make people happy. You did the right thing, or you did the absolute wrong thing. And I get it. And I also see there's other people out there with agendas and trying to get things and put their points across now to capitalize, and that's fine. I get it. I understand where we're at right now. I understand where we're at as a society. I really, really do. It is so trying. It is so trying right now. It's awful. It's awful. Brett, how are you doing?
Yeah, about the same.
Yeah, about the same.
It's overwhelming, to say the least. and I think everybody, isn't sure what they should do. You're not sure if you say this thing, if you're going to get attacked for that. If you say that thing, I know that personally, I'm not big on putting things out on Twitter to begin with, and or social medias, and I don't, there's speak out and whatever. I think the biggest thing that people need to realize is that your number one tool is voting.
Yeah.
Get these people that that make the rules and everything, get them out of office and get the right people.
And that's and look, the other part of it is too, and to address this, what happened to that poor man who was just protecting his stores, it's appalling. It's horrible. It's disgusting. And it should not have happened. That is the case here.
And if you can support protesting and not be pro looting. If you say good for people for protesting, people automatically think it's like saying if you're pro choice that you're pro abortion.
The problem is that it's become very political because everybody again is attached to whatever their ideology is, right? And I had to explain this, and I don't know if I explained it the right way. I had to explain this to my 8-year-old. And I said to her, look, there's things, because we were talking about anger and what protesting is, and then as far as I truly believe, my personal opinion is there's two types of people who loot. There are types of people who loot that, and it's all racist. It's not just, it's everybody's out there doing it right now. So what it is, there's two sides. There's one side that is capitalizing off of this and saying, okay, this is my excuse to go in there and commit crimes. And I think that's what happened with this poor officer. Then there's another side that is not expressing themselves the right way, and they're angry, and they're out there, and they do believe in the cause, and they're out there, and they're just doing it wrong. And then there's just the peaceful protesters. I don't know. I mean, I'm on this is just, it's messed up for everyone. And, this is not what this show is. You guys know that. But there's no way to do anything except listen to you all today.
Yeah.
That's it.
We can't do the fart show.
Not today. That's not the thing. So I want to have I want you to be able to express yourselves. I want you to be able to talk and ask questions and have conversations because that's what it is. And there's only so much. I even had this conversation with R&B last night, too, when we were talking about the tweets. It's like the problem is that when you write a particular tweet, one tweet, that's what stands, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, and it's not a matter of just saying, well, freedom of speech, because the thing is, it's like there's a business and there's other things that are happening. There's other people involved. There's other and he understood that immediately. He's like, I understand that. I get that. And it's not erasing his matches. I'm not taking his phone calls. I think he is a good person. I think he to his own credit inside of it, he made a bad decision, but it also made a lot of people uncomfortable. And it's one of those things that I think when you're running a business, you can choose to say, okay, listen, maybe at this point it's better if we just part ways. And he's like, maybe that's better. And that was the conversation we had. But people don't understand that, and I don't expect them to. If it's not, because the same thing that I said, when you put tweets out there, people see what's out there. They didn't see those phone conversations. They didn't hear.
Well, and so you put out a statement just because you had to say something immediately
afterwards.
But then people, I could see that you were getting attacked, but you had to get something out there.
You
can't explain it in this big long thing.
Because I was getting tweets about it before it even happened. Are you going to respond? Are you going to say anything? And I'm like, it's not that easy right away because I have to talk to people.
Yeah.
I have to find. I can't, because of exactly what people are now saying that I did, of just acting rash. I couldn't do that. I couldn't say, oh, I don't like what you're saying here. You're out. I had to find out what was going on. I had to take phone calls from people that are above my pay grade. I had to take phone calls from people that were, in general, talking about this and understanding this and having conversations. And I said, okay, before I have a conversation with everybody else involved, I got to figure out what the hell is going on first. And that's the burden that comes from running a company. So I can't complain about it. That's what happens. I get it. And it's because of, look, I appreciate the support that everybody is getting on both sides. I would be surprised if there wasn't. I knew this is exactly the reaction that was going to happen after this. from everything happening. I knew that this would particularly happen, but like Brett said, it needed to be addressed. And I also wanted to make it clear, and I knew I was going to come on here today and talk. Now, I haven't even looked at the comments inside the chat, and I probably won't.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you that it doesn't matter. It is whether you like it or not. It's a political thing. I guarantee you that there are people. It doesn't matter what I say. You have your opinions and you want to stick to it. And if you don't like the way the decision was made, you can go about it with conversation that we can talk about it in a way that's civil, or you can yell and you can scream about it and you can call me names and you can do what you want. And that's, again, it's your right. It's fair. But it needed to be addressed.
Yeah. And today was not supposed to be about this. Today was supposed to be about, we were going to have an open discussion
about everything going on
and give donations and let people be heard. And now it's unfortunate that this has to be dealt with.
Yeah.
And that,
I
could tell in your voice that this is, and when I walked in here, I could just see, I'm like, God, this is just eating him up, because you wanted to do something good and then you had to deal with this.
Yeah, but I think that, and that's, yes, but I think that it's also, and this is the thing, I'm not waking up, because I talked to Ellis for a great deal this morning, and he's like, are you calm? I was like, I'm very calm, because I'm not mad at anyone.
Uh-huh.
I'm not mad when there's tweets coming in about people who are mad and who don't believe in this, don't like the decision, don't like what's going on. I understand it. I get it. I really, really do. I understand it. It's just like, it's hard. It's a hard position to be in.
Yeah.
It is why, and that's why I took when, and I understand why people said it. They said, "Well, how do you just do that to somebody on Twitter?" It wasn't done on Twitter.
No.
I had a conversation with the man, because
that was a statement. That was not the actual
and
conversation.
I told him, and I had a conversation with him about what was going to be said, to which he agreed with. And he said, he's like, I understand. And then I talked to him this morning, and I told him what I was going to say. I'm just not who I am. I'm not going to just post something out there. I had a conversation. Anyway, so we're going to get into it. Look, I am going to put, it's the same thing that goes with the Schmoebot also. Be respectful. Get your points across. Whatever you want to do, for sure. It is on, but I'm just,
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Joe. Thank you for the donation. And look, it's the side of that, which is, again, it is, if you look at it as an overall business, and if you treated it like an office, like there was a lot of things that were said that wouldn't stand if you were in the middle of an office doing that. But from the defense of what people are saying, this isn't just an office, though. This is public figures, there's things too, and I can't say that R&B hasn't been amazing for the Schmoedown, and he hasn't contributed a lot to the Schmoedown. I think R&B is a good dude. I do. And I think that I think he just made a poor choice, to which he told me he made a poor choice. It's just, when you're dealing with a whole bunch of employees and everyone else who does not feel comfortable with things that are being said and don't know whether or not, these statements that are made, they ask about certain things, and you have to listen. You have to listen on this side, and especially when you bring it up and the party understands it. Thank you for.
And they can't hear the bot, I guess.
That I don't know. They can't come in. They can't hear it.
Let me see.
Can they hear it or no? Is that not coming in?
Let's see.
Did that come in? It looked like it was low.
I know you're trying to stay out of the comment.
Yeah. Well, I don't
I'm
know.
just working with Ben on trying to.
Yeah, I'm not sure if.
He says he couldn't hear it.
Okay. So you know what I'll do is I'll try to switch back to when the next one comes in. I'll switch it back to my camera, and I'll see if it works on my camera. I wonder why that is.
Yeah, you can go off me for a little bit, and then
let's see. We'll see if it. I'll read that one to make sure that
That was a very generous donation.
It was
but
super
we
generous.
Definitely want to get that out.
Yeah,
there.
let me go ahead and once again, guys, just to let everybody know here today, all Streamlabs and Super Chat are going to be donated to Color of Change, which is the charity that again Skybound Entertainment has been working with for years, and we're going to continue that. So, all right, so let me go ahead real quick and bring that Schmobot up because I want to make sure that it's coming through over here. So the one that just came in, Henry from New York. Hey, Brett and Christian. Christian, I don't know if you remember me. I called a week before you left Collider. I was the guy who was laughing at your Al Pacino impression nonstop on the phone. I wanted to say thank you for this. Stay safe, everyone. Well, thank you, Henry. I appreciate that. Also, man, again, this is a conversation for everybody here today to have, and let your voices be heard. And like I said in the beginning of the show, the only thing that I ask is that we have cordial conversations, good conversations, and you don't have to agree with anything. You can be completely pissed off. It's your right to be pissed off. I think that's what we've always talked about. And I saw, and look, yeah, and I'm not going to lie to you. Like I'm a human being also. Like there was a couple comments that definitely struck me in my core last night. Like we've promoted and talked about community. You hear it now? Is that one coming in?
I'm checking with him now. Yeah.
Hopefully, it doesn't look like it is for some.
But he didn't. Yeah.
I don't know what's happening with it.
Didn't see it or hear it. He said.
All right. Well, for some reason, and I can see it on this thing. It looks like there's. Let me try this and see if I'll try it one more time and see if there's anything inside of that. Now that's going to echo a little bit. So let's turn that down. And hopefully that works when it comes back in. If you guys, again, if you're putting in the Schmobots and they're not coming in, I'm just going to read them out. So I'll be here for a little bit talking about it because I want to make sure everybody has their love. Look, Jake says, I'm just disappointed in the decision to part ways with R&B. I'm not angry, but I'm afraid I can't support the Schmodown. We can't progress as a society if we cancel somebody as soon as they make a mistake or say something we disagree with. Well, that's the point, Jake. That's not what happened. We didn't. We looked into it. We had a conversation. It wasn't one of these things where, oh, that's what everybody's saying. Well, you're gone. I had a conversation with R&B who will tell you the same exact thing. I had a few conversations with him, and that was you got to look at guidelines, and you have to look at the company standards. You have to certain things that are set. But I understand. Like again, I understand your disappointment. I'm disappointed in this entire situation. But Jake, I appreciate the honesty, man. I really do. No. Oh, there you go. Yeah, look. I think that might have worked.
Didn't see it on your screen, but I think we heard it.
I think we might have worked. I think that one might have come in, and hopefully Ben will let us know if that came in. Because if that one came in, then I know how to fix it. So we're waiting for Ben to hear. But let me get through. No? All right, it might be one of the... I think the problem is I have to restart it, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to have to read everybody's stuff. So keep the Schmobots coming in. I'll read them all. We'll do that today. So it's all good, man. A review and play 23. I know it's going to be a tough day for you. Remember to meditate and watch a feel-good movie after the show. I didn't think you need to address this, but I commend you for doing it. Take care. I had to. I think for everybody involved, I had to. I think for... Thank you. Another Schmobot coming in. Thank you, Paul. Let's just bring that up again.
You can.
Well, thank you, Colton, for again the conversation. JT is not in the league at the moment, and It's a different scenario in general at the moment, and the conversation that happened directly affecting the Schmoedown at the time. Hold on. So I wish the people could hear these. Yeah. Well, I mean, he says that the no politics has let people gone unchecked. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily our responsibility to have the to talk politics, because it's not the show. It's just not the show. It's not what the show has been. It's not what the show is. This is different. It directly affected all of us. We were going to talk about what's going on in the world in general before all of this, but yeah. So it's just it is just something that we had to do today. But normally it's just the show's not politics. It's not a political show. But I think people are always going to talk politics and their ideas. And when we were talking, we were having conversations. I don't know what it was. I think on the Schmoeville is always posting things about things that they want to do, and they like the idea that we're talking silliness and goofiness, and that's normally that's my escape from it. It's my escape from. That's what we've been doing when it was just COVID. When it was just COVID, it was I can do this show and just escape it all, and goof around, and I wanted to escape all the stuff that I saw on the news and all that other stuff. And now it's I can't avoid it right now, and if I did avoid it, it wouldn't be genuine, it wouldn't be real, and it wouldn't be fair to you. I had to address this. I had to have conversations. As I said beforehand, there are going to be many people right now who are yelling in the chat. Doesn't matter what I say. They want to be angry, and they have every right to be angry. All right, let's go.
It's just a little. It's kind of jarring because they can see it, but you can't hear it. So it's,
I don't know what it is.
I don't know if you want to.
No, I'd have to shut the stream down. I'd have to shut it down and bring it back up. So the only thing that I'm going to have to do, guys, just put in. I'm going to read everybody's stuff in here. Well, look. So the conversation is about RB3 and R&B. Look, I have talked to both RB3 and R&B. My goal, what I would like to see, I would like to see them have a conversation. I would like to have them talk, and because they've both worked together, they've worked. I mean, the initial tweet from RB3 was as a colleague asking him to take the tweet down. I would like to see them have a conversation. I would like them to hash it out. I would very much hope that happens. I cannot force or make anybody do anything that they are not comfortable with. That is not what I'm. That's not my place. I hope that they talk. I really do, and I hope that they hash it out in general. That's my goal. That's what I hope we see. So the Schmobot is off.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is keep putting them in, and I will read them all off, because once again, all the money raised here today is going to Color of Change charity. Once again,
and it's tough if we just sit there and we go silent while they're being read, because it makes it uncomfortable.
It just makes it weird.
Yeah.
So when it's coming, I don't know why the Schmobot is not working at the moment. I can also check if it's actually anything inside of Streamlabs and see if that's the case, because I would like you all to be able to.
But I think, maybe for today, too, I think the interrupting format may not be the best for this. Maybe these should be addressed as...
That's fine. That's fine. Let's do it that way. So keep them coming.
And I hope that doesn't... I know you guys like to have that sound, but
it's not working. So what we'll do is put them in there because... It's more about the donation today that goes to charity than anything else, and it'll still pop up, and I'll have to read them, and I'll read them out, and we'll talk about them as if they're just it's not the robot today. You get me, which is fine. Hopefully you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Nick Kitt, I support your decision. Everyone's screaming bloody murder about cancel culture, but R&B wasn't canceled. He said something that wasn't in line with your brand, and then verbally assaulted another employee. Tough choice, but the right one. Look, it's the same thing that I mentioned up top. It is. I know that people will defend whether or not they think it is cancel culture. And I have made it clear of the past. People have brought this to my attention clearly yesterday that I don't believe that people should be just judged on just tweets in general and what it was. And then when I spoke to him, we had the conversation. It's a different thing inside of when you're now inside of those tweets being judged. It's a matter of what also happens internally with the business that you're working for. Cancel culture is also when people shunning out of a community, not having be part of things anymore, erasing existence in general, not acknowledging that you're around. I have no interest in doing that to R&B. That's why I called the man 3 or 4 times to have conversations with him about how this was going to happen, to which he agreed with. So that it wasn't. And I had the conversation with him. He's like, I understand. It's a business. We had a long conversation about it. But that's you can ask him about it. He'll tell you the same thing. Jay Scotty, for real. While a person may have passively benefited from the institutionalized and systematic racism in this country, that doesn't make them racist, and they likely wouldn't react positively of being accused of such. We can't control others or how they react or how we choose to respond. It's an emotional issue. Choose to react with love, not hate. # Black Lives Matter. I agree with you, Jay Scott. It's another thing that I want to make sure that we talk about here today, too, because this, unfortunately, this thing happened last night. It was a big thing that happened last night in our community. But there's so much going on in the world right now. There's so much. There's other things happening in your neighborhoods, where you are, to your friends, to your family. So if that's stuff that you want to talk about here today also, please, let's do that. It is a political thing, but both sides are feeling it right now. So
can I say, I butchered the tweet or whatever, but I wanted to say something about the reaction a lot of people have to Black Lives Matter. And somebody said to the effect that if you have a fundraiser for breast cancer, and then if somebody said, well, what about other cancers? Or are those not important? That's what it sounds like when you say all lives matter to this. It doesn't mean that all Black people don't think all lives matter. It's a movement, and it's not anti the rest of the people. It's just that's being heard as a Black person.
Yes, and there's also there's 2 sides of it too, because I've seen people who are using all lives matter as they're trying to promote peace and love.
Yeah,
is what they're some people are trying to do that, and they don't realize how it's coming across, because it looks like my personal opinion on it is the fact that, yes, of course, all lives matter, of course. But the problem is not everyone is listening to that. The problem is not everyone feels that way. And Floyd, certainly. George Floyd was not treated that way. No. George Floyd was murdered. George Floyd was killed. And no matter who you are, you recognize this. And it should shake you as a human being. The man was killed. And so, and it's happened, and police brutality has happened to everyone. But where do you see it the most? That's because, I understand that when people are putting out and say, well, this police brutality happened to this person. He wasn't Black. It happened. It shouldn't happen at all. But it happens more and more often to Black people. And that's what the movement means. That's what it means. And so when it's coming out there and that hashtag is going out, I know what some people are trying to say, but you have to understand why it comes off as insensitive. Mm-hmm. Hopefully. Maybe you don't. Okay.
Yeah, it's rough. I just sent you a picture also of something that I think was very poignant, that it was a Black woman holding a sign that said, not all Blacks are criminals, not all whites are racist, not all cops are bad. Ignorance comes in all colors. And I think that, to me, said it all. I mean, that's just... everybody wants to turn around and go, well, you're just attacking white.
It's anger though, but there's an anger.
Everybody's angry.
Everybody's angry. And it's a matter of like, well, it's such a kind of naive thing for me to say, and stupid, because like you just can't. This can't happen. But I wish that I could sit down with people who don't like me, who don't like you, who don't like each other, and just sit down and say, what can we do to talk about it? It's not realistic. Sometimes it is. Sometimes you can get into those conversations where you talk to certain people and have certain conversations, but the people, it's just like there's so much from being locked up in your houses, trying not to get this disease, from then adding into this senseless violence and the murder of George Floyd, and all these things start happening, and watching communities get destroyed. It's infuriating, and watching this decorated retired policeman trying to protect a store, and he gets murdered. It's horrible where we're at right now. It's horrible all the way around. It just sucks. And I understand the hate. I understand the frustration. I understand the disappointment. This is not a thing of anybody defending themselves or anything along the lines like that. It's just it just is.
And it's not easy to not be hurt if you see something that you take personally, and and I think that's happening. That's with a lot of the social media cultures. There's just so many boom, 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 boom. You're inundated with all these things, and you're seeing, and then this person says this, and it just builds up, and it builds up, and it's just this.
It was such a strange feeling though last night. I have to be honest. I've been through these types of things before, and I've been angry about them, and I've been upset, and I've wanted to tweet back and get back. I wasn't angry last night, because it was more like I was standing there and I was hearing the voices, and I was like, of all of them, I was hearing all the voices, and I was saying, I understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. Even people who I've worked with in the past that are now decided to be enemies, which is fine. I understand where your anger is coming from. I get it. I understand where your anger is coming from. And it is not to be anything else. I have to rise above all of that to say, I hear what you're saying. I think it is fair to listen to everyone. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't necessarily mean responding to everyone or talking to everyone. You've got to be able to hear it. Because people are going to try, no matter what it is, if they're angry, they're going to try to bring you down. They're going to try to get you angry. They're going to try to point things in your direction now. It's anger. And we're angry right now. We're angry. So I get it. I really do get it.
We went from scary to scarier to
everything.
Everything is escalating.
This is like a fucking bad movie.
No, it's end of days kind of shit.
It's a bad movie, and you look around and you say, I can't. But like, how do I handle this? We've never been equipped for something like this. A pandemic led into the riots and the protests and the political unrest. I mean, we're human beings.
Yeah.
And like we were, the fact of watching children dealing with not being in school and how it has affected them socially. That's one side of it. And watching how all that has happened now, coupled with all of this and watching all of this, it's like how do you interpret that in your brain as a child, much less now? Like all of you, everyone, no matter what your political beliefs are, no matter what they are, it's a lot to fucking deal with.
Yeah.
It's a lot to deal with because we're human beings and it's stressful. I didn't sleep last night. I don't think anybody expected me to sleep last night, and I was thinking. I felt terrible. I felt confused. I felt, I thought about how I was going to talk with all of you today. I mean, it was something. It was, and for like a split second, it was like, do you still do the show? And then right away, the voice came in and said, of course you do the show because you got to have the conversations. Because then I believe I would be a hypocrite. Because I said I would have a conversation with you guys on Wednesday about other things. And because, look, you heard my story of the way that I perceived it. You either believe it, maybe you do believe it and you still don't give a shit, and that's fine. But I think that it's easier and more, it's easier for me to have this conversation with you here in front of this microphone to let you know overall how it is. I hate this. I hate it. And, there's that word again. I hate it. I just, I don't like being in the position. I chose when starting a company and gaining an audience from all shapes, sizes, colors, political views, that when things like this happen, you have to be prepared for stuff like this. And you have to be able to address stuff like this. Because if you stick your head in the sand, you don't address it, then that's when it gets bad. Ralph Roy, it's crazy the world we live in at the moment, but I wanted to say thank you for allowing this to be an open discussion for all of us to learn. And we'll continue to support the Schmoedown, and I echo your words. Let's all be kind to one another. Thank you, Ralph. It's much appreciated, and thank you. It's nice to hear. Knapsack's Ponytail. I haven't been around for a little bit. I needed a little bit of a break to reset, but I felt the need to stop by today and show as much support as I can for the cause. Thank you very much again. Another one from Aiden Cossack. Hey guys, I'm just going to copy and paste my comments made in the Discord. I watched Movie Talk and Collider and Schmoes since I was 13. I'm now 20. I've grown up with all you guys, and Schmoeville has never made me feel less for being who I was born. Christian, you and your community have done nothing but be inclusive over the years, and last night's comments by Robert Meyer Burnett made me feel the exact opposite of the feelings I've had for the 7 years in this community. These comments are irresponsible, and I applaud your swift actions. Thank you, RB3, for not staying silent. Silence isn't golden. It's complacent to systematic racism and the violence that continues to show its ugly head in the world. Appreciate the comments, Aiden. Again, I know that there's both sides of the conversation here and how people are dealing with this. Thank you. Then Big B, tough decisions were made. I respect them. I do get where R&B was coming from, but he definitely expressed his thoughts in the wrong way. I don't fault him for that. He was emotional. I also feel that RB3 overreacted. I lost a little respect for both guys. Rough days. Again, fair opinions to have, no matter what, no matter how you saw it. And you should be able to voice your opinions on the situation in general. Jason, I understand both points of view, and I agree that R&B took it too far, but I don't agree with what RB3 is currently doing. Seems to me he is now stirring the pot and inviting cancel culture in. I'm still a fan, but I'm disappointed in both sides. Also, I'm not a racist. I don't believe that you are. I don't know you, but it doesn't seem, I didn't carry anything into that particular comment that saw that. You can disagree with people and not and not be racist. Daniel Haygood. I respect and believe Christian's account of the timeline of events and see that R&B has tweeted to continue supporting the MTS still. I like R&B. I think he is angry about injustice just like me, but I still understand and respect the decision. Yeah, he did. It was the first thing he told me when I called him after we put the statement out. We had a conversation. He's like, I love the Schmoedown. I said, well, we love everything you did for the Schmoedown. And he's like, I get it. I understand. He's like, he goes, I'll tweet about that right now. He's like, do you care if I tweet it? I said, no, that would mean a lot. And he's like, no, of course I want to do that. And I said, okay. So yeah, Chris Jones, I had results back today from an MRI because I've been having constant headaches and migraines for the past 3 months. Been worried sick. The good news is that the MRI was clear and nothing nasty was found. Finally getting to see a headache specialist in 3 weeks' time. Good, Chris. Get it checked out, please. House Heisenberg, shout out to RB3, Dorina, Elliot Dewberry, among other in Schmoeville, who, long before these current protests began, have always spoken truth to power debate hostility from those on the right and the left. Keep shining light on injustices and never settle. Yeah, Elliot and Dorina and RB3 have definitely been doing that for a while. Cody Allen, thank you guys so much for what you do. All shit has my head in darkness. This show is a bright spot for both silly but also serious, intelligent, and civil discussions, and I would expect the same from this community. Thank you, Christian, Brett, and Ben. Yeah, shout out to Ben Goddard today also, who is in the chat and he's
helping us
moderating.
out.
I'm sure it's
yeah, it's got to be
I'm sure it's very it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. I'm sure.
Yeah,
and he always does a good job, but especially today, give Ben Goddard a little love. Rats and King, I'm finding it difficult to speak freely nowadays, but something that I would proudly stand for is how much I love the Schmoedown in this community with a great passion. Thank you, Rats and King. That's very nice of you. Philip Gustavo Hassan put in $50. Thank you very much. Haley, I wanted to let you know that as a young woman and a fan of the Schmoedown, I was always nervous that I'd be ridiculed or talked down to by fans. I was proven wrong at the 2020 live event and met most of the inclusive group of nerds. Thank you, Christian, and shout out to Big Mo. Thank you, Haley, for the nice comment. I appreciate that. Very nice. And yeah, that was what we've always tried to do, and I'm glad that you felt that at the live event. Nazwan Sabli, stay safe, everyone. Love from Brunei, excuse me.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. Mike J., people on the internet care more about cancel culture than racism. And the funny thing is racism, in my opinion, is directly responsible for it. If we lived in a more accepting way, people who feel helpless wouldn't claim to cancel people. I don't disagree with you on a lot of that. I don't think they care more about cancel culture than racism. That I don't agree with. But I think that there is more accepting ways than straight up doing it. That's like I said, I made sure that I had conversations with everyone involved and had conversations and talked about it and made sure it's not, even though we're public figures and we have these shows and you hear a lot of the things that we talk about and we say a lot of things and we use our Twitter, you don't see or hear everything, obviously, like internal conversations and things that are leading up and sometimes, we just can't do that. And that's certainly what happened last night. And I wouldn't expect you guys to say you don't have all the information. You're gonna go on the information that you do have.
Yeah.
This is how it goes. So when you have that information and you see this statement, you go, "What the hell? You're doing this to R&B like this after everything he's done for you like this? You don't call the man?" It's fair. It's a fair reaction, but it's not what happened.
Yeah.
But it's a fair reaction to have, and hopefully that's what
And again, in those situations, you're damned if you do, if you damned. If you held off on making any sort of comment, you would have been attacked.
Oh, I was
But by
getting it
making
already, Brett.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't. It's as soon as something like this happens, the burden on someone like in your position is always like, how fast can I get my? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What do you do? What do you do?
And but it's understandable.
Yeah,
I understand.
100%.
I understand why they're asking, but they also have to understand because I didn't want to make just a rash decision and say it wasn't one of these things. And I understand it could be perceived this way. It wasn't one of these things like, oh, he's just getting tweeted, so he just decided in this cancel culture society that we're in to just tweet out he's gone. He didn't have a conversation with the man, and I'm telling you that is not what happened. And R&B will tell you that is not what happened. Walton KR, keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Walton. Matthew Z. Reed, I'm sick to my stomach at some of you. I had faith in this community. Some of you complaining that matches aren't being played or aired on the wake of a civil revolution. Grow up. This is real life. I mean, Matt, listen, man. But look at it this way, if you can, Matt. If they're complaining that the matches aren't happening, whether it's Star Wars or whatever it might be, I think even the Inner Geekdom match. And that's the other thing I wanted to let people know, by the way. We pre-taped 2 matches with R&B already. We're not editing any of his matches. We're not editing him out of any of the matches. We're still going to keep his stuff in there. It is what it is. I'm not removing it. I'm not airing his matches. So yeah. Garth McMurray, you were forced into a difficult decision. You made the right choice. Movie trivia Face Off had issues with bullying, heating, causing people to leave, and then had to shut down. It's sad when fun games get ruined by serious things like this. But I go back to, it's more than just like this situation. It's everything leading up to it, and it's the frustrations and like I said to you guys in the statement in the beginning, R&B saw a retired police officer, black retired police officer, murdered by people looting to protect a store, and he was furious, and he had every right to be furious. We all had the right to be furious. Man was he was a father. He was a good man. It's atrocious. But there's when you write things, when you say things, that's why I try to say your words are your tools, and you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Okay. I am Ninja Panda. Living in the U.S. these days is terrifying, but seeing people come together all over the world to fight injustice has been nothing short of inspiring. I think that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great point, because the news, humans in general, this is what we do, right? In a situation like this, and I'm sure there'll be videos about all this stuff happened with R&B and stuff, and people wanted to capitalize off it. So they're right to do so. There'll be other things about people coming out talking about hatred and stuff, and it's the Nightcrawler effect, right?
Yeah.
And we're not seeing or talking about the good stuff that is happening, the communities that are coming in, the movements that are happening, the cause for change, the people who are working together, the communities that are coming together, that are helping. The communities that are rebuilding from things that are happening, the looting that's happening, they're being overshadowed by some asshole who's faking herself cleaning up, and that's the story that it's for better press, and that's the one that gets focused on, as opposed to the good news of the people that are actually helping. So there is a lot of good happening out there right now. There's a lot of love that is being shared right now.
There are great stories. Yeah, there's the National Guard that are laying down their shields and joining.
Right.
There are some just very inspirational stories, and people are, and again, as bad as some of the attention is there.
Yeah.
This is making an impact. And I hope that it is an impact that will drive this movement forward and that will change things. That is the biggest hope I think we can all have.
There was a great video that was going viral. This is another thing of good, positive energy. There were 3 black men that were around a bunch of protesters, and they were talking. And there were 3 different generations. So one guy was in his early 30s, and he was really the one driving the full conversation. And then you had the other gentleman was my age. And he came from my generation, of our generation, and then there was a teenager. So the 31-year-old was the one who was saying, I understand where you're feeling, I understand the anger, I understand what you've seen, I understand. And he took the younger generation, he said, you've got to change, you've got to do things differently. And it was such a powerful moment, and it was so fucking real, and it was so you could like that kind of energy. It allowed you to say, yeah, we're fucking pissed, but we're going to do the right things here to change and maneuver and look at what we can do to make it better. And I just thought it was so inspiring. I know it's been going around. If you have a chance to look at it again, I know that this conversation's kind of all over the board here, but it's to listen to you guys and make sure that everything is here. So, Tim Sim, I hope everything's okay. Just wanted to ask those who think cancel culture is here in the SD, who thinks RB3 and Clark should also be punished. Please look at your personal reflection and understand why we must be more responsible and listen. Thank you, Tim, for the Schmoebot.
I've never heard of, by the way, this cancel culture thing. It's a new term.
No, it's
for
been
me.
around. It's been around for a bit. I mean, there's things that like.
Is it just like?
No, it's
when a tweet gets drug up and then you get rid of the person.
It's a tweet. It's an action. It's something that happens where people are pretty much ostracized, and then like it's over. Because. But
to me, it's as I understand it, it would be the opposite of your situation. Would be if you had acted without speaking to the person, or if you just immediately did it as a gut reaction.
But that's yes, and rightfully so to a lot of people. That's how it came across to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So to them, it's exactly what it was, and that's why I wanted to make it as sure to address that's not what it was.
Yeah. Because
it is fair to say that. It is fair to look at that and say, well, you didn't even listen to the guy. You didn't even have a conversation with the guy. You just said, that's it. You listened to everybody else and you said, that's it. And if I did that, it would be fair to accuse me of that. I agree. It's not what happened. But you wouldn't know that unless I told you here now, unless R&B told you, unless, I talked about it. How would you know that? It's not your fault for not knowing that. But that's how it is. I think there is a difference between conversation, because as a business, you have a right in a business for company standards that if you do not believe that people are holding to company standards, it is your right to say, I don't know if this relationship should continue on. It is also that person's right on the other side of it to be told and to have that conversation with and to be talked to say, this is what I'm thinking. This is how it looks. And to his credit, he said, I understand. I understand where you're coming from. I get it. But again, how would you guys know that? Okay. This is from Andrew G. Well said, Christian. I hope everyone down there is staying safe. I hope one day R&B can be brought back. Totally understand why the decision was made. Stay safe, everybody. Yeah. Thank you, Andrew G. Appreciate it. Charles Graves put in a Wonderful donation of $100. Thank you. Big Mo also following that up was saying, I'm back. It's too bad it's under this shitty circumstances. Harloff, I support your decision. You were in a tough spot, and no matter what the decision was, you would have been ridiculed. It's a damn if you do, damn if you don't. Yeah, it was, Mo, but I was aware. Mm-hmm. I knew it. Everything that happened, every person that kind of came after me on all sides from people that were in our space, I knew it was coming. But it's part of it where, again, I completely understand also where it's coming from. It's anger. It's not understanding all the way through. It's wanting to have conversations and the way that you express yourself is through social media. We can't go out to offices and have a conversation. We can't. I mean, we can go to protests and stuff but you can't. Our society isn't what it was back in February. We're confined. We can Zoom people. We can, text people. We can tweet at people. We can Facebook. That's how we're communicating right now. Yeah. We're humans. We need conversation. We need to be able to go out and do things and go to a restaurant and do these things. It's luxuries and it's privileges that we have as Americans, and there's other places in the world that don't have it, but it's what we're used to as a society, right? And we're used to doing these particular things, and we don't have that right now. And we don't. Whether we're doing it the right way or wrong way, we're trying to figure out how the fuck to do it. It sucks.
I almost went to the store at 6:30, and I'm like, wait a second, I can't. And it didn't anger me. I understood it, but I was like, oh yeah, I'm under curfew. But it was just like,
yeah,
what is going? What is happening right now? I was yeah. It's a lot to wrap around.
All right, so CoolCat88. I'm not on Twitter. I think it doesn't help the situation ever. We can say words all day long, but it's our actions that define us. You hit the nail on the head here, Christian. That's what studies are showing. What you said, there are 3 different groups of people out there. Yeah, but it's all fueled by anger, and it's all reactionary it's all reactions to anger. People are peacefully, angrily protesting, which they should. People are angry.
Or rightfully angry.
Rightfully angry. Beyond, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And this is what we talked about before. They're rightfully angry, protesting, peacefully protesting. And again, not wanting to go into the negative road here, but even though we mentioned that there are cops who are putting down their badges and protesting with people, there are others who are gassing under orders, who are gassing people, hitting people, abusing the power still, and they don't care that it's on television. I know that people have a lot of problems with the news in general, and I've said it here too. I think that I can't stand CNN. I can't stand Fox. I think that they're both. I think that they are both the most. It's not news, it's agenda, but it doesn't mean that they can't be at the protests and not get shot at with rubber bullets and arrested unfairly, and then there's civilians being shot at with I know this is like a week ago, whatever, too, but it's just people being, there were people. Did you see that video? There was people outside of on their balcony, and the cops were walking through, and they were like firing bullets at rubber bullets at them. People, yeah, they were screaming like, "What the hell?" and getting back in. It's a crazy time, dude. And I also think a lot of these cops have never dealt with anything like this before. But it's the same. But it's the leadership that's got to say, this is the way we need to handle this. This is the way that this needs to be done. And it's I don't know how. Guys, Morse code Z. No message, and I don't want to interrupt, so I'm putting in a few less than Schmoeville donations today. Thank you, Morse code. It's off in general, and I know this probably sent it a little earlier, but I'm going to just read everybody's stuff here too. And we are going to 12 o'clock. If I don't get to everyone's comments here today, just to let everybody know, today's show, the entire show, is going to charity, and it is going to Color of Change. So just to let everybody know that I know that we want to have a nice, hearty, lengthy conversation with everyone. So if we don't get to your comment If you put it in there, again, we have a full hour to do it. But if we don't get to it, the donations will go to charity today for a great cause. So I want to thank everybody here for doing that. And the same thing will happen for Backstage today. Backstage is going to be on at 12:30. Same thing. Everything that is donated through Streamlabs and Super Chat to Backstage will also go to Color of Change. So everything made on the network today will go there. So next one. Thank you. All right. So Maximilian. I normally watch this on replay, but I wanted to be part of the conversation. I support you, Christian, and MTS. I know you're doing your best. I do think you handled this as well as can be. Love to you and Mark and RB3 and Brett. Praying for you guys because you're right. This is tough. It sucks, Max. Thank you for the nice conversation. Thank you. Yeah, it sucks. There's nothing that I could do right now that except just talk with you guys. That's it.
And that's what you can do with each other too. I think that's the thing. To talk to your friends, talk to your, check in with people.
Yep.
that are hurting right now because we can't go give them hugs.
Yeah.
We can't. That's the saddest thing is you can't go see your buddy.
You can't do that right now. No. Well, so this is another thing as far as the community goes. So an admin had reached out to me earlier and asked me if I wanted to shut the comments off on the Facebook post, and I didn't respond yet, but I don't want to do that. Because of everything that I just said here today, I think that we should be able to. This is a time if you're in our community or in general, you don't necessarily be in our community, but if you're in our community and you're in those groups, talk and get off your chest what's on your chest, man, and let's have the conversations out there. It's try to get the anger in a place where you can put it out there and push it out there where it's you can have conversations. I know people are going to slip, and I know that anger is going to come out there too. But I encourage the conversation in both groups if you're out there.
And like how we talk about when we something not as important.
Yeah.
When you talk about film and our ideas on that. The conversation isn't you're wrong, you're stupid. No, it's I disagree slightly
you
with
hope.
your thing.
You hope.
But that's what you're trying. I think if you hope it's going to be that way.
You hope, but this is
try. I'm saying
this is also,
try to do that.
I agree with you, but this is also a different situation where we're at when we're talking about why you didn't like the Avengers as opposed to something else, because there's nothing like you don't know what people are going through right now. You don't know where they live. You don't know if they've been affected, how they've been affected in any aspect of all of this. So the anger's boiling in differently for everyone. They might not be affected at all, but they're watching the news and they don't understand it, and they're trying to figure it out, and it's awful. It's fucking awful. Mm-hmm. NTB, Black Lives Matter, and thank you for having this conversation and donating this money. Thank you very much. Yes, they do. Thank you very much, and I appreciate that very much. Morse code Z, put in another Schmobot, just putting it in there. Thank you. Big B. I'm not doing okay in this world this past week. Half of the country hates me for my skin color. Cops are literally abusing peaceful protesters. The president has pushed the National Guard into our communities to disrupt our solidarity. This shit sucks. Big B, thank you for the donation. And yeah, that's the kind of conversation that I welcome. Put your frustrations in there, guys. Morse code Z. Thank you. All right. Lawrence Lease, thank you, Christian, for all you're doing for the Schmoeville. Stay safe, you guys. All right. Anonymous. My heart breaks for everyone in this situation, especially the people that have to fear for their life by just existing. Wishing everyone health, happiness, and peace. Thank you. Joe X. Rosario. I like and I forgive R&B. But the right decision was made. If I had said something that offended multiple coworkers, whether I meant to or not, I would either be transferred, suspended, or for this came in before. I don't want to repeat that. It's something we said already. Oh. This is the first one of these. Huge moose knuckle comes in. Oh. For the last couple of days, I've been thinking about posting on my social to show support for the protesters and justice for all, but I'm afraid it'll be taken the wrong way, or it is not my place to say nothing. But I don't want to be silent. Yeah, I mean, look, I went through the same thing, man. I went through the same thing when everything first started. It was like everything else. I'm like, okay, I called a few people. I had conversations with a few people. I let people know kind of how I was feeling, what I was doing, and what I was doing. I saw some things I wanted to retweet, and I retweeted things out. And then I said to myself, I don't like this is a different situation. I gotta get my voice out there. I gotta let people know like where I stand, And with the same understanding that when I posted out, that there was going to be responses to it, and not everybody was going to like what I said, and there were going to be people who disagreed with what I said, and there's the other side that were going to be disagreeing with what I said. But I felt it's what I wanted to say at that moment, and I think that if you want to say that at that moment, it's a matter of, I think that when you stay silent, no matter what you believe in, you should worry more about how you feel when you stay silent than you do of the repercussions that the tweet might have. Again, for the whole reason we're here today, make sure what you're saying, is expressed. Don't tweet angry. It's the number one rule. Don't tweet angry. Don't tweet emotional. Think about it. Take a breath, and
save that draft for a little bit.
Save it, and look at it.
Look at it. Reread it.
If you're coming from a place of like that. Say, hey, I was going to post this. Call one of your friends. I was going to post this out. Is this too much? What do you think? And people will tell you. They'll be honest with you. Okay. Arcadio, I'd just like to throw a history fact out there for the uninformed, if that's okay. Per the precedent set by Brandenburg versus Ohio, speech that includes violence is not protected under the First Amendment. Henry from New York, who put in a Schmoeville out there, read before. Thank you. Dan, who also we read that one before too. Tyler Goshka, could you explain why people? We talked about this. People don't like the phrase "All Lives Matters." I love Black Lives Matters and love what it stands for, but don't All Lives Matter too? I know Mexican, Asian, Middle Eastern, and more races struggle in America in different ways. Thank you. Yeah, we went over that earlier, and yeah, we went over. It's a much bigger thing than just there are people who use that sentiment the way that you're explaining it.
Yeah.
But the problem is, again, that people aren't listening to that sentiment because this continues to happen over and over and over again. And like Brett said before, it's a matter of saying, you look at it at one point when you're saying, okay, this is a very important thing to me, and this is an important thing. This person passed away by getting hit by a car, and now I'm at the funeral, and someone else comes in and says, well, 10 years ago, my friend got hit by a car, and it's more important.
Yeah.
So everyone who gets hit by a car is important, which in essence is true, but it's not the time, it's not the place to say that when there's this movement. There's just a lot more behind it.
This situation is because of an incident that involved a black man, and that is why this is a Black Lives Matter movement.
Because the thing is, too, and I don't know if you feel this way. This is the way I feel. I feel that if I went in to a store with a counterfeit $20 bill, which he didn't have, but if I was being accused of it, and I did everything that George Floyd did, I'm pretty sure that knee wouldn't have been on my neck. I'm pretty sure. Might be wrong. But I feel like I probably would have went to jail for the night. I probably would have been in some trouble. I don't think I'd be dead. Pretty confident that I wouldn't be dead. So that's why I think that it's important to understand that. Brandon Dunlap, Christian, everyone has their opinions. However, from a business standpoint, you did the best decision for your crew and your community. It is hard to separate personal and business at times. I will support you in the Schmoedown. Thank you, Brandon. It is hard to separate personal and business. It's especially hard for people to separate it when they're not part of the business. And I wouldn't stand them to see it anyway but personal. Yeah. So when you're sitting there when you're watching all this go down, and then you see my tweet, you go, well, fuck him.
Yeah.
Wait, he's building in everything that they're saying, and he didn't talk to the guy? Fuck him. Yeah, screw you, Harloff. Get it. And that's why we need to have this conversation today. You might still feel that way. But that's we had to also look at it as a business, Delisha Renee, donating to help and say that I appreciate you always willing to be upfront with your audience no matter what the conversation may be. You kind of have to. Because if you don't, it's disingenuous, and I think that it goes against everything that we were kind of talking about here. I just wanted to, I'm going to do a quick recap on everybody, just to let you know. Again, we are donating to Color of Change. Already we've donated, you guys have got over $2,800 so far, guys.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. $2,800 in just over an hour. $2,800 going over to Color of Change today. Keep them coming. Really appreciate that. This is it's a good conversation, and I really appreciate everybody who's getting in to these conversations right now. I'm gonna have to go down. There's a lot of you guys coming in here who are having the conversation right now. I want to again make sure that everybody knows it's 11:10. I'm trying to have as much interaction with these comments as possible. So when I read I'm going to read everybody's comments that I can get to. And again, if I don't get to your comments and I'm not able to get to what you put in here today, I will just to let you guys know, it will be going to charity. But I'll jump on over. You know what? Before we get to the Streamlabs, I'll go to and there's some super chats also. Super chats sometimes doesn't register with when it's on Streamlabs. So let me do this. Hold on a second. So we are at, today is the 3rd. So let's get down to the first one here, guys. Sorry, this is over at Super Chat. Helga Martin Sanchez, thank you, Christian. That means a lot coming from you. Since you don't like getting political, I am moved. This is the time. Thank you. Dean Lewis, Christian, handled that like a boss. Brett, how are you doing? Well, it wasn't really that. It was more just to let everybody know what's going on. But Dean, thank you. Roberto Taylor put in a Schmobot. Thank you. Jody Booston, R&B is afforded benefit of doubt that few people of color ever have or will. I don't buy his apology. Jody, I can tell you this, and I understand your point of view. I talked to Robert. You know, you don't know him, and it's fair. You're allowed to make your decision. I heard him. I think there's a lot of things inside of his apology that he didn't address. But when I spoke to him, I did buy it. But I mean, he's you know, the guy. He's pissed off, and things were just not handled right. Thank you, Roberto Taylor, for the Schmoeville. I appreciate it. Okay, and then Liam in Japan. I have followed you for years. I don't know if I can continue. R&B's comments were wrong, but the slander that RB3 and others sent his way is equally abhorrent. It was bullying. I can't support bullies. Hey, again, Liam, this is your right, man.
Yeah.
This is your anger. You're allowed to do whatever you want to do, man. And I appreciate you being honest. Thank you. Samir Tesfai, thank you for addressing the matter. You were put in a tough situation. You did the right thing. Thank you. Carlos, live in Minnesota, saw this happen in real time. It's crazy. Let's see. And then Celtic Warrior, last donation, I think it was a bad decision to fire R&B. Sad day. Again, Celtic Warrior, totally understand. I totally understand. And I appreciate you being honest. Ryan C., feel for you, man. The situation sucks. Yeah, it stinks. First chance relations. Camera Hainsworth, hey, Christian, please. I don't have Twitter. What the hell is going on? It's all vomit in the chat, and I have no idea what happened. I don't need details, just what the bloody hell is up. I'm a black man from New York living in Florida. Hopefully you've gotten a couple of the... I addressed it. So what I would say, Cameron, is go in the beginning of this conversation. I had a statement on it. All right, let's see. Johnny Pereza, no comment. I just want to shout out Ben. He's doing an amazing job. Larry Lease, Ben, Brett, Christian, you guys will always have my support. Much love to you all. Thank you. Resamek, we need MTS now more than ever these days. Escapism. Thank you. Graham Day, hey guys, Graham from Dublin, Ireland here. I haven't donated to anywhere. This is my first donation to you and this cause. That's because I believe in everything you guys do and I support Black Lives Matter. Love you. Thank you, Graham.
Thank you.
I appreciate that very much. Okay, so this is Mark Ellis put this in. Hey, let's face it. Mark Ellis put in $100 to the cause. Thank you, Mark. Hey, let's face it. you're both much better parents than you are impressionists. What messages are you relaying to your kids about what's going on in the world? Sign someone who won't procreate. Thank you, Mark. I talked about this earlier. It's a great question from Ellis. I had the conversation because my daughter's teacher had the kids basically draw what they're feeling. My daughter brought me to tears yesterday because she beautiful picture, Black Lives Matter, kind of denouncing racism and talking about love and all this stuff too. And I realized that I hadn't had a full conversation with her about what was going on. And part of that was me trying to protect her from, because she right now is in the this quarantine world and going through a lot too. And I said, and there was one point where, whether it's right or wrong, I said, I don't know if I want to let her know about what's going on. You let her find out later when in school and all that type of stuff. And then after seeing that, I said, I can't. I gotta have this conversation. So she knows, she's a very smart kid. She already knows. She's read up on Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and on a lot. She knows a lot, and she knows what racism is, and she knows how. And we asked her those questions. My wife and I sat her down and we had the conversations about what is racism. What is how are you feeling about all of this? Do you understand what happened? I explained to her everything that happened with George Floyd. I explained why it happened, and I explained everything, and I explained this, like I told you guys, the same way that I feel about how I think there's different sides of anger that are going around and causing certain things happening in the world right now. That is what I explained to her as well. How about you?
Well, the first thing is you talk to your children first before. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can't let them see the news. I can't let them, So it's not like we just turned on the news and said, here you go, here's what's going on in the world. We sat down and we had a discussion. We said that this is something that's happening. How does this make you feel? You're going to hear a lot of different things, and there's some really messed up stuff going on. And the one thing that I've found with children, and I find this with most children, we don't give them enough credit. When you hear children talk about stuff like this, when you hear it like a 9-year-old just say like, I don't understand this. I don't understand why, because somebody is different, why they're being
They don't get it.
They don't get it. Like racism to a child, and if we could keep that, if something happens along the way that skews that, but it just it makes you feel good as a parent to know that it's still, and it's still that those values are still with my 13-year-old, and at some point the world kind of messes you up, and it's just it's very emotional when you talk to them, but you have to talk to them about it.
But it's like because you want them to hold on to that innocence. Yeah, you want to hold it on, but then you get to a point where you also have to let them know what is right. Yeah, and you had to have those conversations. And I just realized at that point I needed to have the conversation. I had to. She's a smart kid, and she got it. But it's tough talking to your kids about this stuff, because you wish that it wasn't this. You wish it was other things.
But my children have grown up for the most part around people that do not speak, that are not racist. I will say that where I grew up and grandparents and things like that, I heard some very horrible things growing up, and I had to adjust the way I thought and the way the way they thought, and block that out and move forward. I grew up in a small town, and there were some things that my particularly my grandfather said that just would make your head spin, and you go.
Well, wait. So, real quick, Matthew Z. Reed says, you don't think it's your responsibility to educate people, and you're right. It's not. But by not setting any sort of standard, you're essentially saying it matters little to you if these white nationalist supremacists are in your audience. That hurts. Well, no. Now when it comes to this, Matt, this is the difference of what I was talking about as far as political goes, and this is a very different situation. I'm talking about other things that have happened in the world in the past as far as what this show has been. So that's what I meant there for what you're talking about. Like of 100%, it is the responsibility. The same way that I just talked about, Brett and I just talked about how we were talking about with our kids, is that you have to be able to voice your opinions and your thoughts about what's happening right now. And I am mad. I am upset. I think that this is atrocious what's happening. And because I have, from what I have posted, I am all about the cause and everything that's happening. And I have been tweeting out, and I'm making sure that my voice is heard through this, because I don't want to be silent on this at all. So, and I understand you asking that question, but no, 100% people need to be educated on this stuff. You're not wrong. Andre Porter, the tweet was wrong, but at the same time, Harloff made the right call. It's his business, and SEN has multiple sponsors in addition to working with Skybound for their marketing. Well, it is a business. I mean, that's one of the things that we had to look at. There's no doubt about that. Metalcore Nerds, huge shout out to you guys for using your platform to spread the word about what's going on, and I donated. Well, thank you. That's kind of the point for today. As I mentioned in the beginning of the show, if you're just tuning in, this will be the only show. This and Backstage are the only shows that will be on today, and then we're taking the rest of the week off. We'll be back hopefully on Monday. I had told everybody that we were going to be doing a show here today, the other day when none of this was going on. And, well, not none of this, but this stuff from last night wasn't going on. And I wanted to stay true to that, but then with all the events of everything that happened over the last 24 hours, I figured that we should just get everything out there. So, anyway. Okay, let's see. I want to make sure that there's so many coming in. And, again, I'm not going to be able to get to everybody's stuff here today, but your donations will be going to Color of Change in the charity. If I did not get to your comments, I'm going through all of them. There's just so many of them, and I'm hoping that within the next half an hour I can cover as many as possible. So if I missed some, I deeply apologize, but to let you know that it will be going to a cause. All right.
And then, but Backstage is doing the same. So would they go to them after this and then continue on?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Well, Backstage is also doing a donation show as well. So continue on with that one. If you don't get
continue on, there'll be conversations you can have. They're going to be addressing it. It's not going to be a lot of schmo. It's not going to be a lot of schmodown talk. It's going to be more so of how these guys are going through this right now, and what's happening, and how the community and behind the community and all of that.
Your donation does not go away post when the show ends. It's that's all I'm saying is that
no, absolutely not.
And we'd love to get through all these.
Yeah, today is a day where it's more about the donations and supporting the cause and making sure that everybody knows and it's fighting the same fight. And Color of Change is the charity that we are donating. It is the charity that Skybound Entertainment has been working with, and we will be donating to Color of Change with all these wonderful donations. So let's get back into some more here too. Okay, Dave Liganin, as an academic, this topic in general is hard to get across to students. There's a few things to put out there. One, social media is not free speak. It has user agreement on it. It's not free. People forget free speech allows for you to protect. Finally, talking about it as a community is important. We built this place to be safe, inclusive, and fun, but we all have to be able to talk about it together without devolving into a yelling match. My message to my students: be well, be kind, and be safe. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for that comment. You said in words that what I was trying to say, I think. Schmoeville and the Schmodown is a place for me to escape. And to Matthew Reed's earlier point, it needs to also be a place where we hear each other and we fight for what we want to and we listen to one another. It needs to be that place. Last night, look, everything has affected us, the community in general. And last night really, it put us against one another. And we had conversations about it. And there's stuff inside of the room right now, and people are still talking and having conversations and arguing, and it's going to happen. But we have to remember what we were built on. We have to remember that we are going to try to have conversations with each other. Just try. And thank you so much for that wonderful, wonderful conversation. PLD, thank you, Christian and Brett, for having the tough conversations. The open dialogue is one of the few recourses that we have. There is a lot of hate going around right now. We need to rise above the hate. Much love to the community overall. We will get past this. PLD, I thank you, and you have been an amazing, amazing person. Thank you. I understand now, Matt. I'm go back and look at your comment here, or what you're saying. I am grateful you're doing the show, but the No Politics has allowed fans in the community to go and check. I understand more so what you're saying about this particular matter in general and how there are things. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I hear you. Big Mo. Oh, yeah. Sorry. This is still delay again. Sorry, there was 3 ones. The people forget free speech allows you to for you to protect from the government, but not from your job. You represent your workplace, whether you know that or not. As a white male, race is the hardest subject that I cover with my students, and I know I have a lot to learn, and I'm not perfect, but I want to learn. Finally, talking as a community is important. They were just mixed up, those two. Big Mo's movie reviews. The world has gone to shit in general. So much hate being spewed. That's why R&B's words could have been very dangerous in this climate. It's not about the intention of the tweet, but the wording. That's my opinion. And that's the conversation. He understood that. We talked about that. He understood it. Do it for cash. Thank you very much for not conflating looters with murderers. Certain political narratives would have you to believe that every person looting is willing to kill, which is false. The punishment for looting is not death. R&B missed that nuance amid his anger. Yes, he did, and he knows it. But that's what I expressed earlier of why I think there are different people who are lashing out. It's the same reason, very different, obviously, of how you watching right now, listening right now, have your feelings of how this is everything in general is going down. It is a matter of how you express yourself when it's time for you to do so, whether it's in the chat room, whether it's in a conversation with friends, wherever it is. It's on us to do that, and it's a responsibility that, like, I hated this thing last night. I hated it. I hated every second of it that I had to make these decisions. I hated it, and it was, yeah. All right. Let's get Andrew G says we can't hear the Schmobot. Yeah, that's what we're reading about today. So Insomniac, $14.99. Thank you for everything that you guys do. I'm proud to be part of this accepting community. Thank you very much. Pac-Man Dwayne, to be honest, it's hard to see what I'm seeing in this community. I don't want to say when I first came into this community that I loved movies, and I kept issues from outside separate, but as a fan and being black, I'm disappointed with everyone for attacking Harloff. Stay strong. Listen, Pac-Man Dwayne, I appreciate that. It's part of it, man. It's part of it. They have every right. They want to be angry. They want to suggest it. They want to talk about it. They want to say what they want. They're angry. Everybody's voice needs to be heard. It's up to them, man. It really is. It's up to them. It's we just got to do what we're going to do. Have our conversations. People will choose to continue to be part of these conversations, or they will choose not to be moving forward, and that is their choice. And how they want to move on and what they want to do, and I say it's on them. Okay, so Colton Roberts says, I apologize. I thought there were similar situations, and it's totally my bad. I love the Schmoedown and will continue to support it. That $250 tier was so worth it. Thank you for Christian for that. He's talking about the we do a coaching session. Oh, which will on the Schmoedown. Metalcore Nerds, huge shout out to you guys for using your platforms to spread the word about what's going on. Thank you. Let's see, no, we did that one already. Okay. Mary Millens. Kristen, all right, I'll take it. Christian, in your position, you have to make these tough calls, and I applaud you for making the correct decision. I respect your honest emotions, tempered with sobering wisdom, and I'm immensely grateful for your leadership in the MTS. God bless you guys. Thank you, Mary. Appreciate that. Masked show. I'm glad you guys came back. In general, with everything going on in this country, it's not a simple conversation, and I don't think social media is the place to have it. Everything gets muddled. I don't envy your position. Keep the great work. Thank you. Mike, I love the show. Mark, okay, that's fair. Here's some cash to buy a bottle of wine for your next show. Boy, do I need it. Marshall Weeks, hey guys, hope you and your families are safe and healthy. Christian, decisions like this are never easy, and I'm glad you spoke to your crew and R&B before making the decision, and I agree 100%. I still love R&B and the Schmoedown. Yeah, I get it, Marshall. I appreciate it, man. And RB did some great things for the Schmoedown, and I hate this. Ben's second B-Huel. I'm not sure where I'm personally on this decision. It may not even be your personal preferred action, but from a business perspective, I believe it's the right call for what you'll be perceived as, even for sponsorships, but also the viewers and competitors. It's what it comes down to. Because there was questions that I was getting from people yesterday that I really never really had conversations with.
Yeah. And
they were asking, what is happening right now? And I said, I need to look into it more. Helen Ledwith. People need to be accountable for their actions. Emotions are high. You must choose words carefully, especially when it's difficult. Hopefully positive change will come. Stay safe. Respect each other. Thank you, Helen. Very nice of you. Trash Panda. Yesterday's Blurs in the Hood was powerful and emotional. Let's continue to listen and amplify black voices. Systematic racism is very real. Hearing Jay Washington break down over the dangers of having children today brought me to tears. Yeah, and that's kind of, I think one of the other things is that yesterday I was planning for the most part to just stay off social media for the whole day. I just didn't think it was a time. I wanted to make sure other voices were heard. And I retweeted some stuff, but I didn't, when I was retweeting a lot of, I thought that Maud Garrett posted something really effective, and she had posted something from Geek Bomb about other black voices that, and people of color in general that have podcasts and art and things that it was the day was, that was what the whole movement of Black Tuesday was supposed to be about.
And unfortunately, there was some issues with like what we were supposed to. I mean, something got so
muddled. So basically, what it's about was that it was not for black voices to stay silent, and it was not for everyone to stay silent in regards to it was go dark in regards to your stuff, your social media. If you want to retweet other people, let other voices be heard for today. That was kind of the movement behind it. And that's what I was kind of trying to do yesterday for the most part. Anyway, Matthew Reed broke my heart today, and I understand everything that he was saying. I really do. Big Mo movie reviews. Thank you for the Schmobot. We read that one already. Okay. Michael Rhett Dingus, donating to help out and say I'm feeling sad, I'm mad, I'm depressed, I'm frustrated with the systematic racism in our society, with tribalism in American politics. I'm frustrated with looters taking advantage of protest. Here. Yeah, it's that's the kind of comment I'm talking about. Like, let it be known, man. Let it, yell it out. Tell us. Talk to us. Get fucking pissed. It sucks in the community. I believe, and I might be wrong. I believe this community, our community, will fight through this. I believe that we'll find a way to have conversations and figure it out together. I believe some of you will leave. I believe some of you are just in here today they never maybe even watched this show before and just wanted to come in here and yell at me. Also okay. But I believe that we will figure this out, and I'm looking forward to trying. All right. Cool Cat 88. Our actions define us. We can say words all day long. What does that accomplish? To me, it's nothing. I'm not on Twitter, but we're all behind a keyboard just spouting out our words. Does that really, at the end of the day, doesn't do much to change the thing? I think sometimes yes and sometimes no. I think that one of the reasons that it can be so powerful is that there are things that are said in a way and in a manner that you can say things that can move people and that can affect people. And there's video out there that can affect people. I was just talking about, that video earlier that I saw, that I think there are ways. I do think that Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all these things can be very powerful in getting across the message and doing it. I think that everyone has a voice, and sometimes it's great because everyone has a voice. The problem is, on the negative side, everyone has a voice. Mm-hmm. And that means peaceful things come in, but it also means hateful things come in. It also means that there are things that are inaccurate that go through. There are some things that people don't know if it's true or it's false, and you can't trust the news. You can't trust police. You can't trust. It's like we're just in a place right now that is we're just trying to kick out. We're just trying to kick out. Eddie 314. Christian, I'm glad that these donations are going to a good place. You had a tough decision to make, and your job isn't easy, but I personally feel that you are justified, and it's important for people to read the room in terms of what is posted online and tweeted. Thank you, and I have to also say that this is the reason I wanted to make it clear that this is the conversation that I had with R&B, was that he also understood that. He got that. He knew where it was coming from. It was I've had 3 to 4 conversations with him since all this has happened. It's been very cordial. It's been very understanding. A. Torres, RB3 has been out there protesting peacefully. There's names in here. I don't want to call anybody names, but if there are certain people were sincere, they would realize that R&B calling for anyone with arms to go out and shoot to kill, which is a direct threat to RB3 and other protesters that the police has been practicing. Black Lives Matter. Yes, and I think that I really do believe, and I'll let R&B talk about that more. I believe he understands that now. I really do. I think he understands that now. But it doesn't mean that people, like you just said, it's a great point, Alex. If this is Alex Torres, by the way. Might not be. But if it is, you make a great point, because that's the point I was trying to make earlier. That when there are people who are out there protesting, Koish Andrew is out there protesting. There are other people out there protesting that to them, when they saw this particular thing, they got nervous. They got scared about what that could do with someone who has a powerful voice. So that's where a lot of these conversations started to happen within the business itself. And that's where I think they were coming from. Max Million, dear Schmoedown fans, let's love one another. Hate cannot drive our hate, only love. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Please don't bully. The greatest thing about this community is its friendliness. Don't destroy that. Christian, you're the man. Now you know. Thank you. Remember, I truly believe, I truly think that this community, even the people who are very angry right now in both the groups and on Twitter, I believe a lot of us will start to have conversations and talk and figure this stuff out and have conversations. I also think there are a lot of people in here today that have never seen the show ever and were guided here just to make a ruckus. Yeah. It's fine.
Or to support.
Or to support.
Yeah.
There might be some people watching first time, never heard of the show, and decided today they were going to watch and see what it's all about. So once again, remember that we're going to be doing backstage at 12:30 here. I believe it's 12:30 today. And same thing. All donations will be going to Color of Change, which is the charity that we're donating everything to. All right. Let's see. Next one here. We're going to go to Doc Dredd 2. As a son of a police officer, this is hard for me. I know there are good ones, but some of the violence I've seen firsthand at protests in St. Louis is just too much. Like Chris Rock said, there can't only be some good ones. Black Lives Matters. We all bleed red. Well said. Marvel Man Mike. I worry that the point again is being lost, smothered by the conversation about Burnett. Please look up the Black Lives Lost to Police Brutality, research where to donate, and petitions to sign. This is about them, not R&B. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Good point. This was initially the whole conversation here was about what's going on in the world in general and what's happening. So, speaking of which, Mike Lorette Dingus, with quarantine, losing jobs, a cop killing another unarmed black person, all the feelings from job security, racism, and the extreme political tribalism, it's like a pressure cooker. We desperately need a leader to talk to bring people together. I don't disagree with you. I think we need somebody out there who wants to bring the whole country together. PJ Campbell, I support your decision on this, and I know it wasn't easy. Thank you for facing it all head on and being transparent as possible. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. I mean, that was it. And Andre Porter. Big fan of Andre Porter. Randy Orton of the WWE. All people made a powerful statement on Twitter saying all lives do matter. But the point I was trying to make is that I finally realized that until Black Lives Matter, they can't. Get it? I think, look, I've never been a big fan of Randy Orton, but I think that was very well said. I think it's very well said. Christy McGee, I don't even know what to say. I just wanted to donate. Thank you for hosting this discussion. Thank you. Abby Friel just puts in a comment. Black Lives Matter. Thank you. And Justin Dan Manning. Nothing much to say. Hadn't supported before and felt today was right. Hate that everything's so bleak. Just throwing some peace and love from the UK. Be strong and stay safe, everyone. Lucas J. Shawshek putting in a big donation of $250. Thank you, Lucas. That is beyond appreciated, and again, you're thank you. Prince that wasn't promised. Thank you for having this conversation. I hate that our community is torn apart, but I know love will overcome hate. Hashtag justice for George. Stay safe, all. I want the black community to know that I hear you, I see you, I am listening, and I am here. Thank you. Very nice for you to put that in there. FLC El Crim 2. In 1868, the 14th Amendment was added to the U.S. Constitution, mostly to give rights to former slaves. Almost 100 years later, in the 1963 MLK March on Washington, almost 60 years later, we are at another tipping point. Black Lives Matter. I stand with you all. Thank you for that, and I'm glad that everyone else is talking. I think this is more stuff that I want to talk about here. I want to kind of get more into what this is all about, so if we can move into that conversation, I would like to do that. I think we covered a lot of the stuff with R&B. Covered a lot of that. If we can make this more about how you're feeling about overall what's going on in general. You know, have you been to see some of your? Have you been Have you been out of your house at all? Have you stayed in your houses? Like how are you all feeling? Yeah, Andrew G. Seeing everything happen from where I am in Canada, the lack of leadership is very sad. This just isn't an American problem, though. We have to work together as an entire human race to fix this and put an end to the hate. Thank you. Matthew Z. Reed. There is no difference of opinion when it comes to human rights issues. Your regard for black lives should not be contingent on your political opinion. If you're finding it hard to speak, ask yourself why. And they call the left snowflakes. Fair. Eric. So I learned something today. The NYPD have undercover police cars disguised as taxis, and they have had this for some time too. Weird stuff, but much love from 4,400 miles away here in Norway. Hope you all stay safe from it, and COVID as well. Star Brick Pro put in a donation. Thank you. Darren B. Black Lives Matter always. Love from Canada. Thank you very much. I have token. An eye for an eye only ends up making the world blind. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Where there is love, there is life. In a gentle way, you can shake the world. Muhammad Gandhi. Thank you for that. I appreciate that very much. Okay. Jonathan Caro. Expect a big visual positive surprise tomorrow regarding the SEN and the Schmoeville community on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I just wanted to say I don't understand why hatred and racism are easier to be taught than kindness. Let's reverse that. Be kind to one another. I think that there's frustrating things that happen with people in general, right? There's frustrating circumstances of where you are in your life and things that are happening, how you react to it, that it's easier to yell and to scream and to be angry than it is to try to be kind. There's work involved in that, as opposed to just be reactionary and yelling and being pissed. I know we only have 15 minutes left, but I'm going to pee in my pants. So
I feel like too.
Yeah. So just give me 2 minutes. I'm going to run to the bathroom. I'll be right back, and we'll finish up the rest with the last 15 minutes. Thanks for hanging in there, guys. Hold on. All right, everybody, coming back here. Thank you for joining us on SEN, Schmoeville Entertainment Network. Reading everyone's comments here today. Trying to, as far as there's just a lot. And I have to say already, just to let everybody know, at the moment, we have raised over $3,300. Thank you so much. That will all be going to the charity Color of Change. Backstage will also be doing the same. All Streamlabs and Super Chats coming into Backstage. It'll pretty much be an all town hall type thing, the same way we're doing it here. Now, I had said this many times in the show today, we so many of these donations, and this is like 4 days worth of comments, so we're not going to get to everybody's, and I definitely, I want to let everybody know that up top that was the case, but just to let you know that even if your comment didn't get read, that the money's going to go to Color of Change. So thank you for everybody who donated today. But let's try. We have 10 minutes left. I'm going to get to as many here as possible. The prince that wasn't promised on Super Chat. I was blackout drunk, resisted arrest, puked on cops, and got off with any charges or damage. That's the difference. Kate Van D, Black Lives Matter. Thank you for this conversation today. Thank you always for this community. Jim Pierre just wanted to make a donation. Thank you for all that you do. Joshua Torek, sending solidarity and support from the UK to our SEN family and the communities over there protesting for the change that is needed. Brett Walker, I support all of you guys and this community. This community has done so much for me and many others. Thank you guys for all that you do. Black Lives Matter. Commander Dameron's Squadron, Black Lives Matter. I want this money to go to Jay Washington for lunch after the fights with this chat. Daryl Stokes, as a black man, I wish I could have a conversation with all of you to help why things are happening the way they are. We are angry and just want to be heard after 400 years. Thank you, SEN. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Thank you, Daryl, for that. That is, I think that's the thing, man, is that people want to be heard. It's clearly hasn't been happening. That's why we are where we are today. People, yeah, sorry, Brett. Go ahead. And please, I don't. This can't be pushed under the rug. Like this just keeps coming up, and this can't be some just news for this week or something, or news. This has to. We have to continue to have these discussions. We have to continue to drive this forward. This can't just be another soundbite. And that's my biggest fear, is because it's the way things happen now. It's just like, well, that was this thing, that was this thing, that was this thing, but it's just like I continue these conversations and continue to try to make this change. Yeah. R. Clay Johnson puts in $10. I wish I could give more. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Anything that you can give. Anything that you can give today. And you can give your support to your friends, and you can if you can't give money, you can vote, you can support your friends, you can listen. Have conversations, man. That's the biggest thing. I'm telling you, like, even all of this today, like what I challenge you guys to in this community, if you're over on the SEN live page or the Schmoedown pages today, like even if you're like super angry and you want to like yell at people because you don't feel that they're hearing you, or on both sides here, and try to hear each other. Just try. Have a conversation. Like, hey, you know what they talked about on SEN today? Like, let's try to do that right now. Mm-hmm. Like, I know that we're getting heated, but like, how are you feeling? Like, what is? Because I believe that that's what this community is. I believe that's what we have done. I see it at the live events when we go. I see the conversations that we have with people, and I've seen it when you guys have called in for the people who've been around for a long time. I see it. I know that it's there. I know that it's there. But you cannot look past anger, and you cannot look past fear, and that's what's out there right now. And it does happen. I've seen on social media, I've seen somebody say something, and somebody say, well, I see what you're saying, but can you explain that? And I've seen these things that you could have blown up into these huge fights. Yeah. Actually, they do get resolved at times. It does become a good place to have these discussions. It just needs to be done in the right way. Agreed. Yep. Again, so many great comments in here too. Trying to get through as many as I can. Apologies if your comments do not get read. They will be going. Your donations will be going to Color of Change, which is the charity we're donating to. Skybound Entertainment has been working with them for a while, and we are going to be donating everything made from both here and backstage to them. Andrew Phillips, glad you guys are here to expand the conversation. The only way to change the broken system is to peacefully make those in power uncomfortable enough to do something. It's hard to run a business today, but we're here to stand by and support the MTS. Well, thank you for that, and I agree that it's leadership that has to listen. It's leadership that needs to understand that it's always the same. People always say like politicians are working for us and cops are working for us. Do they really feel that way, though? You know what I mean? Like, do they really feel that way? I know that that's the case. I know that we pay for their salaries and tax and all that. But do they feel that way? I know that they say that they do. But do they really feel it? Because there's a lot of actions that you see from that it doesn't feel that way. No, I'm not singling out everyone, but I'm just saying a lot of the. And again, this could be very much so because that's the way that the media wants you to see, right? But I just feel that I've been soured by politics. Mm-hmm. That's why, and Matthew Reed rightfully so called me out on a lot of it today too, about not talking about certain things, and I get where he's coming from, but I've just been soured by it because I don't feel like these people care about me. Now, there very well could be people in politics that do, and I think that's probably the same kind of misunderstanding people have, where like you loop in everybody from a couple people, but I think the political system is broken. I have for a long time. And I think that, in my opinion, that of everything happening, I believe this proves that. Nobody's working together. Yeah. And it's like, no matter what you feel about anybody that's out there making speeches, not making speeches, nobody's working together. After 9/11, everybody came together. After 9/11, Republicans and Democrats, for a short period of time, came together, and it felt like the country was one. The country couldn't be more divided today. It's Yankees versus Red Sox, and it's horrible to see. All right, accuser of the Beagles. Hey, good God! I stopped watching SEN for a month because my business is fucked up because of coronavirus, and everything gets crazy. I picked a perfect day to come back, though. Ben is the number one player. Do not put cucumbers up your ace. All right. There are no taste buds up there.
Thank you.
Hey, well, thank you. Thanks for putting that one out there. But I appreciate that. It's followed up by Ben's second B-hule. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. And then hate leads to suffering. Don't you think cops, the good ones, are also just afraid to lose their jobs? They're probably just being threatened just because of their jobs. Crazy times. Yeah. Stay safe. Should RB3 had said that R&B was right-wing and that he should be medicated before he goes out there and shoots a black person? Do you think that's an acceptable thing to tweet? I don't. I think that they need to have a conversation.
Yes.
I think they need to have a conversation. I think they need to talk. And I think they need to feel each other out. But again, I think that let me rephrase that. I would like them to. Mm-hmm. I don't want, and I'm not talking about on air. I think it would be wonderful if they were ever to, and I don't care if it takes place in a year from now. I just think that after talking to both of them, I think that they could both be heard of what, but maybe not. Not my place to say in that particular thing because, I wasn't on the other side of it, on that type of it. So I don't, yeah. Ben, second B-hole, thank you. Let's see. I'm going to also go to Mary Million. Interesting. The universal support around COVID, a physical illness, is directly opposite to what's now happening in our country to insidious illness of the heart and spirit equals racism. Let's strive for the understanding. Unity. Be kinder. Stop judging. Love all. Okay. Jordan Anderson. Go check out Outlaw Nation from a week ago. John had R&B on, and you will see one of the most caring, kind, and loving humans in R&B. He shared stories of Schnepp and talked about people of all cultures coming together in peace and love. I was moved to tears. You should absolutely watch that.
Yeah.
Joey in Space. I love you guys. I love this community. I know things seem... Oh, wait, did that one already? No? We didn't. I know things seem bleak, but the massive sizes of these protests give me hope. I am forever the optimist. I'm looking forward to a new world where we're all treated equally, fairly, and with respect. Black Lives Matter. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Only have time for maybe like one or two more. Let everybody know once again that all your donations will be going to Color of Change. I'll give you the actual how much we have made at the moment, so you know. And I'll let everybody know that at the moment. We have raised over $3,580.
That's
so
amazing.
Thank you guys for that. And you can still donate by going to streamlabs.com/the Schmoedown, and you'll also have backstage in just a little bit. All right, Thomas, Drew, thank you for using your platform for this. Love to all you guys and everyone watching. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. And then there's the last one. Jason L. I found out Monday that I was furloughed for 3 months. We as a nation, as well as a community, are stronger together. We will get through this. We all need to just keep talking so that we can make everything better. I'm going to send you all as much love as I can. And with that, I actually, you know what? I got one more. That I'll end with here, and this is the last one. Salad Von Bako. There's not a lot of talk. Excuse me. There's a lot of talk and not enough listening. The only real change will happen if we learn and grow. Learn that what we had been doing wasn't even close to enough. We can and we must do better. Vote. Black Lives Matter. Thank you, guys. Thank you to everyone. And once again, appreciated all the donations going over to Color of Change. Reminder that the Star Wars match is not happening today. The goal is to make it a doubleheader next week. We got to figure out how to do that, and send out emails and schedule and all that jazz. The backstage will be up, and we are going to be airing every match as taped. No matter what happened, who's in it, all that stuff. Everything's going to be aired. I don't know about Friday's match. We may have to push it back. We're not sure yet. Depends on how everything goes. No more SEN for the week. This is it. But yeah, thank you. And thank you. I mean, for those people who got involved in the conversation, thank you for your respectful comments, for the conversation that was had today. I mean, mostly everybody who posted stuff. I didn't get a chance to see everybody's, but for the most part, it looked pretty, even people who didn't agree brought things up very respectfully. So I thank you guys again. And I appreciate it. It was tough. It was a tough day. It was tough in general to do. It was exhausting. But things have to be talked about in general. And I wish that I'm looking forward to backstage because I want to see more of the conversation continue there. So make sure you head on over there, 12:30. Thank you guys very, very much.
And there's a silly song that my mom used to sing,
Sure.
but it was accentuate the positive. I'm almost gonna cry. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and that's what we need to do right now. We need to focus on all the positive things that are happening and all the people that are helping each other and being there for each other. So just don't forget to be a friend and to listen. So that's all.
Well said, my friend. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Hope that the conversation continues over in the Facebook groups, and we can just listen to one another and have our voices be heard. And for those people joining for the first time here today, and if you were yelling into the void, if you were just yelling or you were mad and coming in here just curse us out, I hope you got it out of you. And we'll see you soon.